No recitals.
Okay, we'll open it for questions.
So when Pacific clawed within 9, you guys went on a 35 run after that. What kind of led to that? What did you think was working there?
Our defense was phenomenal during that stretch, and then we had a hard time making open threes for the most part. But in that stretch, I feel like we started making a couple, and then I don't know if it all came in that same stretch, but Rob got hit in the mouth or whatever, and kind of woke him up, and he went on that flurry, and then. But again, shot making. I think Tyler made 1 or 2. I think he made 1 and got fouled on 1 in that same stretch. But I think it was all really fueled by our defense, which has been really good.
How nice of a luxury is it, though, on the offensive end to have 3 guys that can just carry the majority of the load?
Yeah.
Big 3 scoring over 20 points tonight each of them.
Yeah, no, which I think Tyson just hit me with the stat first time, I think, since like 2020, is that you said? Since that's happened, which is a cool stat. But I mean, those guys are rock solid. Obviously we rely on those guys a lot. I really was happy with what Richie did. I thought him and I have been talking a lot about, we've really been studying like his analytics and different things where we can get him different play types offensively. He had a couple what we call get games where he was playing off handoffs and stuff, which I thought was pretty good. AJ was AJ, and in that flurry that Rob had, I thought he really showed his speed and quickness, and then obviously they played well, but I thought, after what Alexei did a couple nights ago and he was sick tonight, that's why he wasn't here, and then Tyler to come in and basically do the exact same thing was huge. Look, if those guys can come in and be those types of shooters, which they can be, and we know they are, which is why they're here, that's going to open up a lot of things for everybody else.
Was there something in this matchup you saw with Pacific that made you want to go to that press defense early in the game? I mean, you guys had a 10-second violation on them. What was something that made you want to bring that out for a lot of the game tonight today?
Yeah, so I mean, we went to that against Riverside. We've gone to it in second halves. UConn game, we did it. Clemson game, obviously, and so again, I think it's when you have a team for a short period of time, and you're not playing other games, right? We've still only played how many games have we played? 11. So 11 games. We're still learning our group, and we've found a little rhythm with some of the pressure. It's like when AJ played with Team USA, they would do some of that with him, and that was interesting. And we just hadn't gotten to it until we needed it, right, to come back from some games. And we felt like because of some of the slow starts, maybe that's a way we can kind of jumpstart our guys, and maybe we tripped on something.
How has Richie gone from a bench 3-and-D guy before you got here to now he's one of the best players in the country? How have you seen him grow in that sense?
I said this the other day on a different forum, but he's just a maniacal worker. And so when you work as hard as he does and you're as competitive as he is, a lot of good things can happen. And I've said this before about him as well. Most guys with that kind of energy aren't great shooters, but like you tack on his shooting prowess, and now people are running him off the line. He's able to get to the rim with simple drives and stuff. So I think it's just a combination of his work, his mentality, his competitiveness, but the shooting piece. For us, I do think it's coincided with our style of play, which is a lot of 5-out, creates a lot of closeout opportunities for him. And we try to play in transition in an area where he's really good. We had, I think 29 fast break points the other night. We had 26 fast break points tonight. So he's phenomenal in transition. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but led by, just how hard he works.
I was going to ask about the transition offense. Obviously, you guys have been really productive with fast break points. What do you think leads to that? What makes for a successful area there?
Yeah, well, number one, defense. You got to get stops to run. But even last game, and you guys know I'm big into analytics, and I think maybe different actually than what I think when you hear analytics means. Like I use it mainly to self-evaluate, and are we doing the right things? Are we not? Where are we sick and not know it? That's how I use it, right? I get the shot values and all. I could write a thesis on that. But where we use it the most is just trying to identify areas that, again, are we doing the right thing? And if we are, let's keep doing that. If we're not, why? And let's either stop doing that thing or fix that thing. And so I say all that to say last game, Akash, our analytics director, was like, hey, man, we had 4 possessions after they made a shot that we turned into transition possessions, which sounds minuscule, but that's a big deal because we're super efficient in transition. And so stops, number one, but even after makes, and this is where it bleeds into the kick-ahead pass is what we call it. Like, we really love playing with the pass in transition. I think it puts teams on their heels. Like, if you're not ready to get back on defense against us, I think you could be in for a long night. And when we're playing that way is when we're at our best.
We're coming to the end of the non-conference schedule. What were your objectives coming into building it, and how do you feel like you've maybe met those over the course of this time?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we wanted to beef it up and just make it more challenging, which I think we've done a decent job of. I think we could probably even could have done more, honestly. It's interesting on my staff because I have kind of a split of guys who've coached in college for a long time and guys that haven't. So a lot of it's new to me and some of my other coaches, and a lot of internal discussion on, could we play more, quad one type games than we even did this year. So that was the overall, genesis of it. I think in this stretch it was kind of, you still have to fill your schedule. So that's a really well-coached team. Coach Smart's a world-renowned coach, and so felt like they could present a challenge, which they did some defensively. But this stretch, trying to be home during Christmas and finals and all that kind of thing is kind of what went behind, scheduling these kind of packed-in games that we have now.
And then what about developing your team during that time? Because that's another.
Oh, huge. I mean, that's why you beef it up, right? So it's a good point, like context of what does it mean to beef it up and what do you learn? I mean, the amount of stuff, like, we've learned compared to last year is night and day. It's not even close, I think you learn schemes, what's good, what's bad. We're talking about the pressure and so forth. Like, you learn that. You learn where guys won't need the ball in their spots relative to good defense and not just someone they can just bully or whatnot. I mean, there's just a litany of things that you learn, and you can't do it unless you're playing against really good teams. And so, I mean, the other thing I would say there is, as I've learned college basketball more, what do other people do that have been doing this for a long time? Like, when I'm in New York City, if a New Yorker crosses the street, I'm crossing with them because they know what they're doing, right? Same thing with this scheduling piece. All the good teams schedule tough, and so that's what we're trying to be. And this year was I think hopefully what the blueprint can be, moving forward with some of the non-conference scheduling.
2 more questions.
10 rebounds for AJ. His rebounding ability, where does that stack up among all the great things that AJ can do on the floor?
I mean, if you asked his dad, he'd say it's way up there. That's something he was on me about even before AJ signed with us. Coach, you got to make him rebound. Sit him if he doesn't. So, look, I mean, where it rears its head for him is it ignites our transition. It reminds me of Ben Simmons when I coached him in Philly back in the day. It was like when big guards like that can get in there and rebound and they're dynamic in transition, it goes back to the transition opportunities and the fast break point. So that's the defensive rebounding. And then on the offensive side of the glass, I mean, we preach a lot of offensive rebounding technique and numbers, and we just talk about it almost ad nauseum, to be honest with you, and which is great. When AJ goes, he's probably going to get the rebound. When I go, I'm probably not going to get it as much as he does, right? And so trying to get him to buy into that. But, I mean, look, we ask him to do a lot, and so it can be taxing on him, but that's kind of where it rears the value on the offensive side and the defensive side.
Last question.
This is kind of a random question for you, Coach. You're a man of great quarter zips. I think it's the 5th different one you've tried out. Is there a method to what quarter zip you're rolling out on any given night?
Oh, man. So Samantha Young, no relation, my executive assistant, it's her job to send. She sends the text out with the picture of which one we're going to wear. I will say, I don't know if Tyson would agree, but we have too many this year. Like, some of them, this one, they're even to the point where some are actually white, and then there's the same one that's off-white. That really throws people for a loop. So we got to kind of dial that down. Kyle, our Purvis, our equipment guy, we got to talk to him, but kudos for noticing that, though. 50 Shades of White.
Checking the game notes, we do track the record for pullover.
Let's go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
AJ Dybantsa, we'll have Tyler has the opening statement, and we'll open it for questions.
Yeah, just great win. Finally, some shots fell for me. Shout out my teammates, though, but we got 2 more before break, so we're going to get back to the film and get right back to it.
Thank you, Tyler. Great job. We'll open for questions.
Tyler, what do you think changed for you tonight, making those shots? And did you see things better at all, or just?
Nah, it was just the confidence my teammates gave me. They kept passing me the ball, and just keep telling me to keep shooting the ball and just instilling confidence in me. So yeah, I think it was just like my confidence today.
Rob, when they cut it to 9 in the second half, Coach was talking about defense turned it around. Did you guys feel that?
Yeah, we definitely did. So we was just trying to be the aggressors and just get stops and get out in transition and try and score some easy ones. And I feel like we did that and opened the game back up.
Richie had 5 steals in that first half. How did his defensive intensity help you guys out for any of you guys?
It was great for us. He got us the lead early. I think we was up 20. So it was great. I mean, he's super active on the ball. He's been the last couple games, and we definitely going to need that going into conference play.
It was your first double-double today, AJ. What does that mean to you?
First
Obviously, getting 10 rebounds is a big deal, too. So.
Coach has been on my head that I should be averaging, around 10 rebounds with my athleticism. I think I've been stuck at like 6 to 8 for a couple games, so just try to be more active on the boards.
First time you and Richie and Rob scored 20 each.
Dang.
What's the ceiling of what you guys can do when that happens? I mean, can you guys take anybody when that happens?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard for teams to like pick their poison, and it's like a game like this kind of like exemplified that. If you want to go steal out on Richie, then Rob has open lane, or vice versa for any one of us. So I think if we can keep doing that and continue doing that, then we're gonna blow teams out.
Sort of off topic, but Rob, a week ago actually, you hit that 3-pointer at Madison Square Garden. How's your life changed since then? Have you gotten just?
Still had to take my finals, so life's been the same.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, you guys get off easy.
Yes, sir.